she's gonna be in the intro. It's fine. Good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. What are you eating? What is in your mouth? Okay. For this week's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through my full leg day that I'm doing right now. I'm only doing one full leg day per week now because I am training for a half marathon, so I am devoting 2 days to running, which only leaves me 3 days for strength training. So I have a full lower, a full upper, and a full body, which I will make an entire series going through each and every workout that I do per week. And then I'm doing Pilates on the weekends. I did yoga last week after my upper body workout, and I really liked it, so I think we're going to add that into the split as well. So that's kind of a breakdown of my weekly split. I also have been doing for my cardio 30 minutes on the Stairmaster 3 times a week, and I typically try to do those right after my strength training days just to kind of get it out of the way. I'm already in the gym. We have an Alani to get us started this morning. It was really weird. I actually skipped Pilates yesterday because I woke up feeling like absolute trash. I don't know what it was. I started my period a couple days ago, so I feel like it was that plus, so I went out with my boyfriend and his friends, and like, I'm not drinking all of this year. I was just hanging out with them, you know, enjoying some food, having some mocktails, everything was great. And then I woke up the next morning, everyone was super hungover, and I was like, well, I also feel like shit, and I didn't even drink. So I was so annoyed. Stomach was all off. I just had like full body aches. It felt like I was ready to get sick. So I was just honestly nervous that I was going to be down for like a couple of days, but I woke up today feeling just fine. We're still going to take it easy because one, I'm on my period. After yesterday, I just kind of feel pretty weak. I'm going to try to take it easy on myself. I kind of have a hard time doing that sometimes, but regardless, this is going to be my normal full leg day. I'm just probably going to take back the weight and intensity a little bit today. A moment for my cute fit. This is the new Gymshark Whitney Adapt leggings in the brown. I believe they are sold out, but this halter sports bra, I have to say, so this is the minimal halter sports bra, and the minimals is usually a little bit too small for me, so like I thought that the halter would also be too small. I think it works perfectly because I don't know if there's like a little bit more fabric on the actual top, but it's just so stunning with the back being backless. I feel like the girls feel pretty secure. Obviously, I'm not going to be running in this thing or doing any high impact kind of stuff, but for like leg days, upper body days, I think she's great. Okay, enough talking, let's go to the gym. I already did my warm-up. I'm gonna do a separate video for my warm-ups that I do before every single workout, just so that you guys can have like a quick, easy video that you can access later if you want to. So we are starting off with squats. I kind of like to switch it up with squats every couple of weeks. So for a while, I was doing Smith machine squats. Sometimes I'll use the pendulum machine for squats. For this next training block, I'm going with just my normal back squats, just to kind of see where I'm at with my strength on this one. This bar is definitely too high for me. You want it to be a little bit lower than your shoulder width so that you can easily unrack the weight. Ooh. All racks are different, but these ones are pretty easy. You just slide it up and pull it out. I think we're gonna go for the 25. That seems right. Okay, yeah. That's perfect now. So I'm gonna start out with a couple of warm-up sets before we get into our working sets. For my warm-up sets, I like to just do like a couple of reps, starting with just the bar. I always just start with the bar to see if I have any tightness anywhere with my hips or my ankles that I might need to go back and warm up a little bit more. And then we'll probably throw on 25s for another warm-up set, maybe go up to 35, and then start our working sets. I also like to take off my shoes because these New Balances definitely are not good. Unless you have a fully flat shoe, you shouldn't be squatting in it. I also just like having the stability of my full foot and my toes being able to grip the ground while I'm squatting. For squats, everybody's going to be different with your anatomy. For me, I like to definitely take a wider stance because I have longer legs. Slightly externally rotate my feet. Hopefully this angle is good for showing you guys correct squat form from behind. Again, I take a wider stance just because I have longer legs. You can go anywhere from narrow to super wide. Just kind of play around with it to see what works best for you. The main thing that we want to make sure that we're not doing is having that butt wink where your pelvis tucks inward at the very bottom of the movement. And I want your knees to follow that same path that your toes are pointed on, keeping our chest proud and our head up. We're going to sink down into the squat until just about parallel, and we don't want that butt to wink down at the bottom. If you do have a butt wink at the bottom of the movement, two things could be happening. Either your ankle or your hip mobility could be struggling. I'll make a whole separate video on exercises to help with hip and ankle mobility. Done with my working sets, we're gonna get into 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps for our working sets. Normally, I would go up every single set in weight, about 5 to 10 pounds per side. Because I wasn't feeling great yesterday and I'm on my period, we're just going to take it easy today. So I'm just gonna stick with the 135 for the rest of our sets. That rule kind of goes for every single one of my exercises. Real quick to explain rep ranges. This exercise specifically, I said 6 to 8 reps. That's our rep range. How I think of it in my mind is, depending on the weight that you use, if you got 8 reps in your last set, go up in weight. If you only got 7 reps in the last set, stay at that weight. And if you only got 6 reps, then go down and weight for the next set. That's how we're going to be able to progressively overload every single week. You guys can't hear me, right? I love you. That's basically how I measure progressive overload and how I'm able to go up in weight pretty consistently. I don't want you guys to go to failure on every single set. I try to aim for failure on that last set of every single exercise. The 4th set of this on a normal day, I would be struggling to get that last rep, if that makes any sense. And that's how we're going to see growth. Next up, we have some step-ups. I have been doing these lately on the V squat machine, but today we're just going to do them on the Smith machine. I kind of like picking exercises that you can have a lot of variability with. So for example, with the step-ups, you can do them on the Smith machine, you can do them on the cable machine, you can do them on the V squat machine. There are so many different options. I can't do that with one hand. There are so many different options and variations, so it's really nice too, because if you have a packed gym, let's say, then you have a lot of different options for hitting the same exercise. Oh my god, why is this one so heavy? We're putting that one pretty close to the top because I'm pretty tall, and then I'm gonna go grab a box. You can use a bench, but I feel like the bench and the cushion, it's a lot less stable for your foot. So I'm gonna go try to find a box that's about knee height. We have our box. I'm gonna place this pretty much directly under the bar. I'm gonna start out with no weight so we can really see our placement and make sure that the box is in the right position. I like to think of step-ups. I call them step-ups, but I think of them more as a touchdown because you do not want to be pushing off of your back leg to get you back up. You want all the work to be coming from this working leg. For this exercise, in order for it to be glute focused, we don't want your knee to surpass your ankle and your toes. Pretty much want it directly stacked on top of your ankle. Send your hip back until your upper leg is parallel with the ground. Send it all the way back until you're parallel with the ground. Your foot might touch the ground, it might not. And then drive through the heel of the front foot to push you back up. I'm gonna keep the weight pretty light on this one. We're gonna be doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Also make sure that you're not poking your butt out like this and you have a neutral spine like this. Oh, yeah, I'm only gonna be able to do 8 for that. I went a little too crazy with the weight. Also, general rule of thumb for all leg exercises, the more your knee goes over your toes and the more knee flexion that you have during an exercise, the more quads it's gonna hit, versus the more you send your glutes and hips back, knee over ankle, and less knee flexion like this is gonna hit more of your glutes. I think you guys can see me. Okay, next up we're moving on to some hip thrusts. If you've been following me for a minute on my other socials, you guys already know this. This is my hip thrust death set. It's gonna be painful, you're gonna hate it, but we're doing anything that we can for the glutes, okay? I am using this like fancy hip thrust machine, but you can also just use a barbell, a dumbbell, any kind of hip thrust setup that you like. We are not going heavy on this one because in total we're doing about 24 to 30 reps because this is essentially a tri-set. How this works is we are going to be doing B stance hip thrusts along with regular stance hip thrusts. So a B stance, it's similar to a single leg, but you still have the non-working leg planted to give you a little bit of stability. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to place the heel of the non-working leg in line with the toe of the working leg. And I want you during the exercise to think about not using this non-working leg at all. It's just a kickstand to kind of prop you up and give you some stability, but really just working the glute of this working leg. We're gonna do 8 to 10 reps, B stance one side, rack the weight, place the foot down, 8 to 10 B stance on the other leg, rack it, place the foot down, 8 to 10 reps regular, and then add a little spicy hold for 10 seconds if you can. This machine has a belt, which is really nice, but I still feel like it's a little bit too much pressure on my hips. I do like to typically place either the barbell, the belt, whatever it may be, more on the top of my quad as opposed to like directly on my hip bone to give you like a little bit more cushion for it. If it doesn't give me the cushioning that I like, I take one of these like foam pads and put it on my hips and then put the belt over it. So you're gonna sit back into this, the pad on, just gonna strap right on in here. These ones especially hurt while you're on your period, but it's fine. We do things that are hard in order to see progress and create discipline. With this one specifically, I want you to make sure that there is no space in between your lower back and the pad. Again, with the hips, don't have them externally rotated and pushing your butt out. Think about tucking your pelvis and having that back flush with the pad. 8, 10, 9, 8, 2, 1. Holy shit. I hate those so much. And now we do that 2 more times. Last set, best set. I just want to go home. We got this. You want a fat ass? This is the shit we got to put up with. 10. See, the first side is so easy. 10. 9. 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm confused. Usually this is a lot less of an angle, but how do I move it? I feel stupid. Don't know. I'm giving up. Okay, it's fine. Maybe I'll like this one better than my normal one. Next up, we have a leg press. Pretty simple, but there's a lot of different foot placements that you can do for this in order to hit different parts of your leg. I want to hit a little bit more quads since we have been mainly doing glute and hamstring focused exercises. To hit your quads, you're going to have a lower and narrower stand. I pretty much have my feet right next to each other as low as I can go on the plate. If you wanted to hit your glutes for this one, I would put them wider and higher and externally rotate your feet out slightly to hit your glutes and your hamstrings. For this exercise, we are going to be doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, lower weight, but still trying to push close to failure. If you are a beginner with the leg press, definitely read all of the instructions before you start on this one because although it's a pretty self-explanatory machine, there's a lot of different ways you can injure yourself on it. So, a couple of safety tips. These are our stoppers. When I unrack this, I'm going to push up on the plate and push these away, and that's going to unrack the slider. To re-rack it, we're going to pull them back in. Again, make sure that that stopper is on before you fully let go of the weight because we do not want this whole plate coming crashing down on you, okay? I don't mean to scare you guys, but safety is so important because we do not want to injure ourselves in any way. Another thing that I'm going to point out is do not fully lock out your legs at the top of this movement. I have seen so many horror videos of people hyperextending their knee and it go in the other direction. We do not want that. Our knees are gonna be on a single plane track in line with our feet. Not gonna be pressing out wide or caving in at all. They're gonna stay basically on a straight line through the entirety of the movement. So slowly come down and push up. See how I still have a slight bend in my knees? I'm not fully locking them out. 15. Okay, 2 more sets of that. Ugh. Normally I do these as a superset, but all the cable machines that I like for kickbacks are taken. So we're just gonna do them separately today. Normally I would start with kickbacks and then come over here and superset it with seated abductions. For the seated abductions, I like to use these little blocks because as you can see, there's a pretty big gap between the cushion and my leg and I wanna get that full stretch at the bottom of the movement. I like to place these just in between the pad and my leg. It's really up to you and how you feel this exercise. You can either hinge forward about 45 degrees, sit neutral where you have a 90-degree angle of your upper body and your legs, or you can sit back. It really is up to personal preference on that one. And this one, I really want you to feel that mind to muscle connection in your glute medius, which is like the top and side muscle of your glute. We're gonna be doing the whole superset for 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. This is a higher rep range, so it's really lower the weight. I personally like to sit neutral. That's where I feel it most in my glutes. Keep this movement slow and controlled. We don't want to be rushing through anything and losing form at any point. 18, 19, 20. Last but not least, we have our cable kickbacks. On a normal day, I would do these first. I would do 1 set and go over to the abductions and superset them to really toast that glute medius. Because the gym is kind of busy today, we're having to separate them. For this, you're gonna need some ankle straps. I get mine from Upper Gear. I'm actually working with them now. Use code Beckinel to support me if you would like. I really like these because they're very durable and very sturdy, and I feel like I'm locked in once I got these on. Put our straps on. I like to position little metal rings that we're gonna attach to the cable at about, so this would be 90 in my eyes, about 45 degrees inward. We're essentially gonna be turning our foot out about 45 degrees. So that's gonna be a nice attachment to the cable. For these, I really like to use this type of cable machine just because you have a lot of different places you can hold onto during the movement. We're basically just gonna put this notch all the way down to the bottom setting. We are going to plant the non-working leg in line with the cable, so your foot should be parallel with the cable as you're pulling it out. With the working leg, externally rotate your foot out 45 degrees. That's why we put the cables in about 45 degrees, so that this is in line with the cable machine. We're gonna hinge over slightly. We're not gonna be fully parallel with the ground with our upper body, but slightly hinge forward. I like to grab on to anything that I can for stability. And from here, we're essentially going to just kick straight back at a 45-degree angle and come back down. I only want you to go up using your glute to pick up your leg. Once you get past that, we're not using our glute medius anymore and we're just wasting work. I also like to pull out enough so that when I come down, I'm not fully stopping and losing all of that tension. We're still having full tension at the bottom of the movement. Again, externally rotate the foot out 45 degrees. Come in, squeeze that glute medius to pull your foot out 45 degrees. Woo. I'll be doing that for 2 more sets, 15 to 20 reps. And then we're done with the workout. I'm gonna finish off with 30 minutes on the Stairmaster, and that's gonna be our workout for the day. I have been here for quite some time. Leg days are definitely my longest days, and I feel like because I'm only doing 3 strength training days a week, those 3 days are kind of on the longer side, just so I can try to fit everything into my weekly split. But you can definitely get through this workout in about an hour and a half if you're not talking to all your friends like I did, and also filming. That's the workout. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what content you guys want to be seeing from me on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.